This message is going to align with someone who was offered a position of leadership or authority of some kind. And there was a split second where you thought, I might be able to use this to influence masses. But number one, you saw the strings that were attached to it, and so you refused. And number two, you came to a realization that you can be influential to the masses on your terms. Okay. Welcome to Angie Baby Intuitive. Thank you for joining for your collective message. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all here. I love, appreciate, and welcome each and every one of you. Also, what was coming through is that you chose freedom over status because it aligned more with your frequency, with your energy, with what you foresee your influence to be. Even truth over power. So we have the lapis lazuli star, starlight. My inner vision guides me to my high purpose. That's so fitting and beautiful, because it was like that split second your incarnation thought, oh, maybe I can use this, but no, that didn't align well with you, and so you've chosen to go down a different path here, and you've refused that throne. The Amazon Queen battle. I'm devoted warrior of the universe, and that is exactly why you have chosen not to walk down that path, because it does not represent that devoted warrior of the universe spirit. Okay, it more represents you are fighting for our societal humanity here, society. Okay, so yes, it didn't align with you. So we've got also the ancient grandmother teacher. I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. Now, this is either a spirit guide that you know about, that you sort of, I want to say refer to, but it's not refer, that guides you. Okay, that's the best way to put it. Or this is your energy reincarnate. Okay, where you're going to be that teacher. Let's just think about that for a second. Influential over the masses, but you're choosing the spiritual direction because that aligns with you. Actually, I just looked at these and we're going to get one of these first. I'm also picking up that people look at you and go, like, are you okay over there? Because you're being offered positions that people would like jump at. People work their whole lives for the positions that you've been offered, or they work really hard towards that, but they always get overlooked, It's a role that everybody wants, that you've been offered, and people can't understand why you have denied that. Like I'm hearing right now, once in a lifetime opportunity, and you just went, no thanks, and walked away. And people are like, what the? Okay, we've got, I don't dance around the perimeter of the person I want to be. I step in fully and completely. I release my need to be perfect, and I center into my commitment to serve the world more love. Woo! I love it. You got to love this. This is exactly what we were just talking about then, That centering into the commitment to serve the world more love doesn't align with stepping into that position of societal leadership or authority. You don't want to be the boss of anybody. You want to enlighten people. So it's conflicting. There's a conflict of interest there with the two paths. Your higher purpose path and a societal structured path. I don't dance around the perimeter of the person I want to be. I step in fully and completely. Like, that is just, that says it all. Even if it was like a path to wealth, you're more about abundance on all levels rather than like, give me the moolah, baby. And I do get people like, they call you crazy. Some people even get so put out that they might even come across and, um, you know, geez, you're very ungrateful. You're an ungrateful person for denying that. Like anyone else would have jumped at it. People would love to do that, you know, to house themselves, or but that is just envy talking from that point of view. We've got Hera, partnership, and we've got sacred flames of love, and we've also got divine love on the bottom of the deck here, along with divine timing under that. Wow, beautiful. Grounding is under that, and I believe that that is your position. Like you don't feel the need to step into a role like that. You are more, and it's earth spirit, so you're more grounded to what actually matters, you know, like the purpose behind the mission, rather than, you know, the wealth behind the status type of deal coming out. So partnership here, this could be a partnership because we've got a peacock coming out here. Now I can't be absolutely certain of it, but what I'm feeling from it is that this is a partnership with the divine. Okay, divine love, divine timing, sacred flames of love. So partnership here with sacred divine, okay, is telling me that this, you are guided by your spiritual side, by your higher self, by the divine itself, by God, okay? And so you cannot falter on that path. So even though you've been offered this position, it's a no-go. You're not moving down that path. And actually, you weren't, like, even though people thought that you were rejecting success, you were rejecting the price that it demanded, the soul or energetical frequency price that it would demand from you. Like it was almost like you would betray your spiritual purpose, your spiritual self, your higher self, God. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why I always have to go, oh, the spiritual side, God, when I can just say the divine or God, you know, because you would know what I mean. It's the spiritual journey. Just what we need to see. Talking about the divine and God, like it's yeah, it's a compromise. Okay, so I'm going to put it this way, and I know it's just reiterating on what I've already said, and it freaking annoys me, but when it comes through, I've got to say it. So the throne came with chains. Okay, this throne that you've been offered came with chains, and the crown that you were going to be crowned with in that position of authority came with compromise, and there is no compromise. That is it. The Fool, love it. So we've got the Fool at the beginning and the Queen of Swords at the end. And we've got solid foundation. Like there is already a spiritual solid foundation behind you. You already have structure behind you that you follow, and it is that divine structure. You're not interested in the material structure, okay, that you're being offered. This is not who you are, nor what you're about. And because you chose the spiritual journey here to take a leap of faith and walk away from the wealth and the notoriety in this earthly realm, you're being celebrated for walking away from that. Even though it would have offered you, you know, everything that you would have desired, it would have opened so many doors and given you so many options here. And there was not even a flinch, okay? There was no... It was a very split second that you thought, maybe I can... And that wasn't even thinking about the position that you'd been offered. That was more, can I reach people on my spiritual journey through this avenue? No, there was no conflict whatsoever. You were walking towards the truth the whole time. You remained faithful to the truth, to your path. You weren't willing to lose that depth of yourself. You weren't willing to betray your divine journey, your divine purpose. Show us what we need to see. I'm also getting that this is not the first time that you have, well, that's the wrong way of putting it. Like, I feel like this has happened before, where you've turned down a certain position. Yep, in lieu of your purpose here. Oops, that one goes there. This is here. You can give and take on your terms. You can help people and reach the masses on your terms, not when you're told to move forward. You can do it on your own terms here. And you know, whatever I said just a second ago, because I don't want to try and make something else up, because the original of what I said when I put these cards down is what was meant to come out. And believe it or not, I can't even remember what I said. So rewind it a little minute. When you saw me putting down these cards, whatever came out then in that moment is there was no compromise or whatever it was on your spiritual purpose. Okay, so whatever it was is what I meant to say. It was what should have come out. I mean, is the message that was. I'm not going to try and think of something else just because I'm going to pick up these cards again. Even though it would have made you visible to a lot of people, I just got then the wrong people. People who wouldn't have respected your word, if that makes sense. Oh, thank you. Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. Again, I'm going to say there's no confusion or conflict around what you need to, what your mission is, okay? There is no confusion or conflict for your divine path to enlighten people and raise frequency, okay? Frequency here on earth, but on a spiritual level also, more to the point. Because this earthly incarnation is very brief. It is the soul behind that you need to, you know, that you're nurturing here, okay? That you're enlightening, that you're bringing back into alignment, that you're bringing back to that original state that God intended for us on a spiritual level. It's just that in this realm you have to target the humans. So when humans understand that spiritual side and they understand elevating and raising our soul frequency, that is mission complete, okay? So there's no way that you would have been able to manifest this or bring this into fruition or be the leader, and I know the magician doesn't mean leader, okay, but personal power, to be in that position of personal power, to be able to create this change. If you'd followed the other path, sorry, that was the end of that sentence, sorry. I nearly got off track then, because I was trying to think, what does the magician represent again? That's what I was sort of thinking. We've got the Queen of Swords coming out again. Whew. With the Two of Cups, the High Priestess, you're being celebrated again, and that leadership role, leadership of truth role that you chose to go down. Again, reiterating that you are being celebrated for that you are going to bring what it is back into alignment, that you're going to raise people's frequencies without this chained position of authority, chain, like bound, limited and restricted here. And I think we had the devil come out. We had the death, not the devil. But you know, if you look at the high priestess here, like, this is what you bring about. The hidden knowledge, what's hidden from us as souls, but what's hidden from us as souls in this human incarnation, if that makes sense, okay? Because I feel like I need to explain it, but I think you know what I mean. It's like we're not told in this human incarnation that we are powerful spiritual beings, right? But we are. And anything that we want to do, we can actually do with our minds, with our frequency. We're not told that, but that's hidden from us. So this is what you're to expose to people, to bring people back together, to join all of our, it's almost like what I'm picturing right now is all of our cords, you know, the little threads that I talk about that join all of us as one, are not completely severed. In some instances, I'm getting completely severed, but definitely frayed, okay? Fractured and frayed. And so this is what you need to bring back into existence here, into the light for people, the truth of who we are, in order to mend those threads and bring us back into partnership with our Most High. Also being celebrated for your integrity, you know, your integrity to the true crown that was worn by Jesus, right? You are being celebrated for that integrity, for your integrity, for your strength, for your loyalty. Thank you. Okay. They're the ones they're meant to be. There's quite a few. This is so fitting. Ultimately, the only way to know about God is by letting your being merge into the being and then seeing what happens to you. And we were just talking about that. I just love it. I just love it. It blows me away every time. And I know I always say that, but it is mind-blowing, you got to admit. True freedom is very close. It's just on the other side of your walls, the human walls, and the freedom that you will feel by coming back into alignment with the truth that you have been sent to bring, but not by way of human structure, the spiritual form, okay? The highest state you have ever experienced is simply the result of how open you were. If you don't close, it can be like that all the time. And this is so close to what, you know, joining people back together, not closing, or, you know, think of the being closed as the threads being frayed, right? And you are bringing that open communication, that open connection back into our soul frequencies. There may be other words for that, but you know, I'm not that experienced. When your stuff gets hit, let go right then, because it will be harder later. Automatically I get that this is the attack that you come under by people that see you refuse the position, and you know, it's like, oh, you're ungrateful, you're this, you're that, blah blah blah. Okay, like, boop, see ya. What you say doesn't really matter to me. That's what you've got to do. Don't let the human emotions get in the way of your choice and what you know is right, the truth, your truth, God's truth. A wise person remains centered enough to let go every time the energy shifts into a defensive mode. The moment the energy moves, relax and release. Letting go means falling behind the energy instead of going into it. Yeah, not getting mixed up into that energy, because that is what frays those connections between us. It is those human emotions that frays those golden divine threads that are supposed to keep us connected while we incarnate into different incarnations throughout our infinite soul journey. If you are living every experience fully, then death doesn't take anything from you. I reckon that is in line with what I just said then, because if you're living every experience fully, then death doesn't take anything from you. Because if you learn those lessons here, then you move into the next incarnation that you grow from even more. Okay, that's coming through. Just relax and release and deal only with what's left in front of you. You do not need to worry about the rest. Beautiful. Yeah. And it is that freedom, you know, there's that sense of freedom that is coming through right now. The reason that you chose to, you're not even going to believe the card that I just saw then. It's absolutely, oh my God, it's just crazy. Oh my God, that is just wow, man, that is wow. Thank you. We're going to go into that in a minute. But what I was saying is that freedom is coming through. Okay, so it is that freedom to be ourselves, our soul. And I'm not saying like, oh, you know, get out of your jobs and go on the road and don't pay your mortgages because of the taxes and all that sort of thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying because of that structure, we've lost our, you know, I have to be careful about how I say this. So we've lost our, I just heard free will. So in a sense, I guess we have, you know, but that's not the freedom that I was originally talking about. But that could just sum it up into because we have to go to work in order to pay our rent and keep a roof over our heads, if we're lucky enough to have one, if we're blessed enough to have one, because there are a lot of people out there who don't have that opportunity, and I pray for you. But we have to go to work to feed ourselves. We have to, you know, there's that sense of have to. We don't get to choose, really, unless we choose that hard path, I guess, you know. But that is not what was intended for our earth. I'm 100% on that. That was not the intention. Unfortunately, there's been a structure made, and I'm not knocking it for all you government agencies or whoever's, you know, sees this, and I'm not a YouTube, I'm not knocking any of that. I'm just saying, you know, the good old days back in the day where it was just like you wake up in the morning, you're on a little block of land, you build a little wooden log friggin' house that you're happy with your family. You don't know anything else to compare yourself with anyone. It was like everyone done the same. It was the same level, you know. So you wake up in the morning, you go out and catch your food, you've eaten for the day, you've got a roof, you can light a fire, you're warm, you know. It's that sense. That's all I'm saying. You value that freedom above everything else, and that is almost to the point, I believe, of what I don't know, I just confused myself then, of what you sort of want to bring back into humanity, or what you want to remind humanity of, perhaps. All right, put it this way, you want to remind people that we are all the same and we are all joined and we are all one. Our energetic fields are aligned, and that we have that sovereignty. We are sovereign beings, right? And no amount of money or power or anything else, the status, the crap, can replace that. We forget. The world measures success now by accumulation and sometimes pointless accumulation. I mean, how much money can you have in the bank that where's you can't take it with you? Like, what, I know generational wealth, but then there's like overkill, OTT, right? But anyway, we're not going into political things right now, but we've got messages, communication, rejection, fragmented, and that was like what I was looking at. The even repression, as I'm talking about, is like, it's just crazy. But the fragmented threads between all of us, okay, that you know about. This is what you want to communicate to people. You want to bring people back into emotional alignment here. You want to rejoin those threads. You want to make them stronger. You want to remind people who we are and what we are, where we come from, whether it's dimensional or whether it's other incarnations or what, right? Soul or heaven or kingdom or whatever it is. That's what you need to remind people of. And opening ourselves came out there somewhere. Yeah, in those cards, right? So the repression. Open, transformation, repression. Regret, receive, transformation here. I don't even need to explain it because it just is pretty self-explanatory here. We've also got growth, abundant, present, gratitude, healing, inner child, cycles, completion, change. Completion and change is at the end here. After we go through our spiritual growth, realize what real abundance is here, heal what our earthly incarnation has done to our fragmented divine threads to bring in completion, soul, spiritual completion. I don't even get that it's something that you regret. Even when you're, broke on the bones of your bum, like, you don't regret your choice, and you are actually moving towards, like, let's see, moving towards enlightening people from your personal journey. Show us, I forget what I'm going to look now. Oh, show us what path. They've chosen to go down rather than the earthly, material world. Don't let people make you doubt your choices. I reckon if you'd chosen to be crowned with this earthly crown, like society's crown, it would have destroyed you. Ha! I love it. Okay, we're meant to take that as well. Yes. Wow. You're defending the path, choosing a different path of leadership and influence over our souls. Thank you for your service. That's what I've got to say. So what path have you chosen? This is the answer. Defending how you've chosen. Okay, we've got the Magician coming out here, so that again aligns with the Magician coming out before. That is the path that you have chosen. It's more of a spiritual, divinely led path that you have chosen to bring into manifestation. Those threads, mending of those threads. It's like you're a divine doctor, okay? You're a divine doctor, and you've chosen your personal power, the God-given personal power, to create the change, to bring about this emotional connection between people. Look at it. King of Cups, Ten of Cups, and the Hierophant. Need I say more? You know, need I say more? I don't think so. This is the path that you've chosen. I love it. Oh my God, and here's the devil. Like I said before, did the devil come out? No, it didn't. Okay. So you are releasing people or whatever it was. Rewind it back to that minute when I thought the devil was here, because that is whatever that representation, this is the devil coming out to fill in that missing piece that I thought, oh, is the devil here that moment, right? I don't know what moment it was, but look at the path you've chosen, because we just asked. It's just amazing. I just love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, look at this. You're already on your throne. God gave you this throne. It is a divine throne. And you already have your crown. It's a divine crown. You chose right. Okay? Do not let people... That's just crazy, isn't it? Look at it. Boom, 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 boom. There's... Oh my gosh. Thank you, goodness. Thank you. Thank you. That is mad. Oh my goodness. I was just in the midst of saying, actually, the right throne will come, and then I look down and boom, you're sitting on a throne here with the crown. Very suave, very relaxed about what you've chosen, very relaxed about how you are going to bring into manifestation your life's purpose, and it's spiritual. Man, that is just mad. If this hasn't happened yet, I'm getting the fact that you refuse. Okay, the time will come, the divine timing. We had divine timing coming out of here. So you've refused one position, you've refused two positions. It may take the three, it may happen on the two, it may only take the one. But the fact that you refuse that position or those positions, okay, is leading you to the divine crown, the divine throne. Okay, so just, if it hasn't happened yet, if you know, just divine timing, trust. Okay, with the refusals, if you get stuck in that of, and I'm not, look, hey, if you're meant to go down a path of going into a position of wealth, building wealth so that you've got something behind you, that is divine timing, right? It's for that is a sense of that free will and divine timing. Maybe you're meant to go through that structure first, and then you're meant to say, look, I've had enough, you know, this isn't aligned with me. Okay, so don't I'm not saying don't take that promotion, because hey, we need to live. All right, I am not saying that at all. That flipped out. I saw this one flip, so we'll have a look. Voice of truth. Wow, shivers, man. Inner strength. Inner strength, inner voice, divine order, and call to action. What was I just saying? Okay, so divine timing. You'll be called forward when it's time. And maybe you need to go into a position of working in that position before it happens. Okay, I'm not saying turn away from it, but the message coming through was for a person that has refused it. Okay, but I'm not saying that it's wrong if you take the position and then you choose later down the track, when divine timing sort of comes into play here, and you hear that voice of truth, you know the inner strength, and that you can create what it is, blah blah blah, right? I don't need to go into it, because I know you understand what I mean. But take charge and lead by example, walk your talk. There will come a point when you do that, that will bring the divine order that you were called to, your part in divine order, because it's not just one person, is it, bringing the divine order. It's many different warriors and soldiers out there doing their part, playing their roles, living their assignments, completing their missions. Okay, so it is an accumulation that is building that divine thread between us when we come together and complete our particular part. And you may live, you may have many missions, you know, and you complete one mission, then you're assigned to another. Okay, it can work in many ways. Who actually knows how it works except God? And that is the faith. When you have faith about your intuitive spiritual soul pull and you follow that, that is, you know, that is the this, that is the is. Right. Where's the, oh, here. Okay, we'll get one of these and then we'll close with the numerology. And basically what I'm saying is, if this message was yours at the beginning, whatever I said, it's if you've walked away from power, money, or status, right? If you've been offered, if you've walked away, if you've been offered and you refused, okay? It's those conditions, it's the conditions behind the offer, or the conditions behind being in it, that you're walking away from. And so this is your confirmation. That's all I'm saying. Face your own shadow. That was the bottom of it, because I dealt it that way, even though we've got two sides. But we'll just read these. Could be relevant. Healing the heart. This is a sacred time of healing. In order for you to feel whole once more, it's essential for you to reclaim all the lost parts of yourself. This could be someone walking away, see? You've been in this position, you've earned a certain amount, and you're feeling comfortable, you feel in a position to be able to help other people now, and then you're going to reclaim all parts of yourself, and you're going to move onto your path and say, this is the job, give it to someone else who, you know, might want the job. Call back all aspects of yourself, all the gifts, the talents that you have been forced to hide or repress. Okay, sorry, I'm going to read that again because I missed a part. Call back all the aspects of yourself, all the gifts and talents that you have been forced to hide or repress. Boom, there it is. This is so freaking fitting for the reading. It's not even funny. It's almost like, no, it's not creepy, but you know when you say, oh, it's creepy. By unleashing those tender aspects of your deepest self, you allow your heart to rebuild and strengthen. I reclaim myself and my story. I am ready for wholeness. This just is so in alignment with what has been coming out here. I just want to say it again. I'm going to say it again. It just blows me away every time. Okay, dominions, face your own shadow. In order to contribute healing to the world and dispel the energy of darkness, boom, you have to face the shadow of your own soul, and that can be taking that job for the material wealth rather than following your spiritual self, okay? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. God is not judging you for that, okay? No one's judging you for that. That is just free will and life and where we are today. Like I said, you got to eat, you got a house, do. It goes on, okay? So that can be looked upon as, you know, if you think divinely, it can be a shadow side of yourself when you choose that path rather than what you feel is nurturing and nourishing for your authentic self and your authentic spiritual path, your divine path. It's not that they are bad. There you go. I didn't even read on, but I didn't even have to go through that spill. It's not that they are bad, more that there are parts of your most authentic self and story. I can't even believe it. This is just crazy, honestly. Have a look where my finger was, because I swear it was there. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying. It shocks me every time. All right, let me start again. It's not that they are bad, more that there are parts of your most authentic self and story that you are avoiding. And this will only hold you back from healing and growth. Face all parts of yourself now. I am willing to light up all parts of myself. I know how hard it might be, like if you're in a position and you think, oh, I just want to leave, and there are so many of us out there that do that. I just want to leave, and I just want to get in a car, and I just want to travel, and I want to be connected to the earth, and I just want to see different places, and I want to meet new people who are aligned with me, and I want to just spread God's word and God's love, and I just want to, all of those things. But then, unfortunately, reality sometimes kicks back in and goes, oh, hang on a minute, I've got kids, and they need a stable place, and I can't just uproot them and live out of a car. I'm not on my own. So, you know, it's like that. It's that contrast. We're bound by some of this structure's ways. We feel trapped because that is our soul, our authentic yearning, our authentic higher self yearning for that divine touch. Okay, I'm going to call it that divine touch. Show us what we need to see. Thank you. Oh, I just, hello. I just got synchronicity will guide you, right? Because the synchronicity, I saw the synchronicity, and the synchronicity will divide you. I mean, divide you. Synchronicity will guide you. And I was thinking divine when I said divide, so it was like a mixture of those two words. There could be the level of division from following synchronicities, because you may land that job and think, oh, yeah, I'm going to take it. I need that, you know, I need that. And that divides you from, you know, those little tiny divine threads that I was talking about, first of all, because it also, you know, people aren't always necessarily happy for you. But then that's not what I was thinking. It divides you from your own spiritual path. So, but what I was saying is synchronicity will guide you towards that divine path, that divine purpose. Okay. So look out for the synchronicities. We've got 477, 16, 87, 14 could be relevant for someone, but also what a finish. Persevere. Your personal divine timing will come into play. Look out for the synchronicities. You will then follow your spiritual path and be reborn into that spiritual path. And also you will rebirth a lot of people, like join our divine threads and make us whole and freaking strong again. This is your reading, guys. Thank you for joining for this message. Thank you for bringing energy through to bring this message through. It's an absolute pleasure as per usual. I love, appreciate and welcome each and every one of you. If you like the video, pop a like on it, and please share it for other collective to be able to receive this message. If you vibe with my energy or you want to become part of our soul collective here, subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to stay up to date with messages that come through, hit that notification bell, guys. I'm just going to do this. Sorry, but I know I'm so freaking annoying. I annoy myself as well, but it wasn't going to let me. Like, I'm pretty OCD. All right, we'll give it another 2. Thank you. Thank you for bringing energy through, and thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Spirit. All right, this is the one that came out. I acknowledge and accept emotions as they arise within me without prejudice or judgment. So yes, that is so, like, if you get that emotion and you think, oh, look, you know what, I'm going I'm going to choose this, I'm going to choose that. That is you. That is your choice. That is, you're going to be able to make that choice, whether it's go for the job and divine timing will play out, or whether it's no thank you, I'd rather do it this way. There's no prejudice or judgment. Okay, so this is just so beautiful that this came out, because that probably God needs you to know that. Okay, God needed you to know this. My heart is open to freely expressing love. That is your purpose. Okay, but if it takes you a minute to get there, there is no judgment. God needed you to know that, because I'd finished the read, and honestly I felt I wasn't going to be happy until I picked up this little deck and shuffled it, and boom, we got that. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Keep shining bright. We've got this.